oak out here. I don't know if you can see it. This is wind damage. The loggers left this tree since it was probably a 200-year-old tree, but it ended up being rotted. There wasn't a lot of root system to it. And since the rest of the forest was removed during the logging operation, it never developed, or it had weakened root system. So it sat out here by itself, and when the wind came along, it blew it over. But it's so thick, I've only got a 20-inch bar on my chainsaw, so it's a little bit of a project. I did get this piece and that piece cut off, but that trunk of the tree is probably close to 6 foot diameter, so I'm going to have to just take it off in chunks. But as I cut this piece off, it just stayed pressed up against a tree, so just want to get it out of the way here today. Anybody out there who has land, probably have a tractor, and you know how important it is to have a root grapple to move things around. Now, having a skid steer or Bobcat say is 50 times more maneuverable and quick than try to maneuver a tractor. But I love this grapple. This is a tool, so when I bought my property, I knew it was going to be a long project of several years, so I wanted to buy a tool that was going to be useful to me on this property. So I picked this Bobcat, or a skid steer Bobcat, and I bought my forestry mulcher with it, this root grapple, and a construction bucket. I actually have two buckets. One is a construction bucket that has teeth in it so I can dig. The other one is a smooth bucket. I'd say this piece of trunk here is, I don't know, it's probably a little more than 3 foot diameter, and it's oak, so it's somewhere, I'm just guessing, between 2,000 and 3,000 pounds. This Bobcat's a T770, 92 horsepower. I've cleaned up a lot of wood with it, and it's pretty comfortable picking up something this size, 3,000 pounds anyway. I don't want to give you bad information saying the exact weight it can pick up, because I don't recall. Make sure when I drop this, it gets down there. so great, because I want it low enough that I can cover it with dirt, but I'll get that worked out with the dozer. But it's free from the ground. I just gonna have to work on it. For those of you who are out there saying, why am I wasting all this wood? I hear you. Just don't have any projects at the moment. Grab all of this at once. Should be able to. If I can get a grip on it. Trip. Just not all getting in there. One thing I want to say for operators, skid steers, little technique. Whenever I have a lot of weight, no matter what it is, even if it's my forestry mulcher that weighs 2,200 pounds, or when I'm carrying loads of dirt or loads of logs like this, I try not to pivot turn, or it's actually skid turning. I don't skid turn. I avoid skid turning when I have a lot of weight on, just in case there's a stump or something underneath me between my tracks. With all this weight, start pivoting, the thing has so much power that you'll pull a track off if you're not careful. Even when I'm operating on slopes, I try not to operate sideways on slopes, carrying loads, because just the physics of it, as you're driving straight ahead, the weight of the machine is still going to be sliding you sideways. So if you run over something and you're sliding sideways, there's a chance that you'll grab a track. So I'll go forward, pick up my load, and then kind of K-turn out of it, kind of drive up the hill at an angle or whatever. Again, it all depends on the steepness of the slope. Like this is a good example. Right here is a stump. If you can see it right at the end of my teeth. And I've ground it down with the forestry mulcher just so I'm not getting hung up on it. But those are the things you want to be aware of. Just like now, I could go straight ahead and just pick it up, but this is called risk management. I'll just avoid it. This is the way I do my turns then. Come in, kind of do a K-turn, so I'm not pivoting. Now it'd be perfectly fine if I drove straight over that, but I know it's there, so I'll just avoid it. If you watched any of my other videos about getting stuck in the mud, things like that, a lot of, you know, just what I've learned. I'm no pro, but I've been running my skid steer for 4 years, 4.5 years. And if you let things get you in trouble once, that's going to happen. But the idea is to recognize the hazards and avoid them. Just don't even mess with it. There we go. That's a good one. All these other trees are small enough. I didn't want to go through this whole little covert or ravine with my chainsaw because I know I'm coming with a dozer, and I'm just going to kind of fill this in and push this stuff over as I'm filling it in. And it's all small enough, except maybe the cedar. That'll lay down as the soil gets on it. Okay, back here at the burn site, everything looks good here. I'm not going to do anything more today with that large stump. I'm not even going to, I was just thinking I was going to attempt to try to grab it with this grapple, but again, that thing's probably 10,000 pounds. And I don't want to be popping any hydraulics. So, just take my time with the chainsaw and eat away at it. So that's it for this. I'm off to my shop, switch out my grapple, put on my bucket. Got a little dirt work out here to do today, so I'll get that done. Continue to do a little trip through my trail. Again, this slope's pretty steep. I don't want to go down around that tree and turn sideways, so I'll just kind of angle it down the slope the best I can. Like a 45 is better than going across it at a 90. That's it for the wood burn video. Hope I didn't ramble on too much. Hope I said something that was important to you. I know I watched YouTube videos before I started burning my wood piles. Here's some of my other pastures that I worked on the other couple years. They're growing nice. It's almost time to cut them. But thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you liked it. I'll make some more. I'll talk to you later.